Welcome back. Now for your 5-day weather forecast, we go outside to Claire McCormack.
November has kicked off with a bit of a splash, leaving some puddles after a few days of rain following Hurricane Sandy. Today will likely continue that rainy trend with a 60% chance of showers and cloudy skies. The temperature will hover around 7 degrees for much of the day and then drop to 3 overnight. Friday will have a high of 6 and a low of 3 with more rain showers, cloudy skies, and the possibility of wet flurries. Saturday will be cloudy with a high of 6 and a low of 2. Sunday will also be cloudy with a high of 5 and a low of 0. The forecast for next week puts Monday at a high of 3 and a low of -3 with a mix of sun and cloud. Well, that's it for weather. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Claire. Turning now to national news, the Conservative staffer who allegedly orchestrated the robocall scandal during the last federal election is firing back at his own party. Michael Sona, then Communications Director for Guelph Conservative candidate Marty Burke, was identified in a Sun News story as the man behind the robocalls. The automated voice directed voters to a location which was not a valid voting station. In an interview with the CBC, Sona denied the allegations and implied there were forces within the Conservative Party who were attempting to pin responsibility for the calls on him. The Conservatives have yet to respond to Sona's allegation.
The Canadian Border Service Agency is being criticized for breaking its own rules. Allegations against CBSA President Luc Potelans and Vice President Pierre Sabourin say funds were misused at a 3-day conference in April. The executive stayed at a luxury hotel downtown, costing taxpayers over $350 a night, which included room service and meals. However, they live in Montreal, and the agency has rules against staying in hotels in the city you live in. The CBSA is reviewing the claims.
In international news, a new report from Amnesty International paints a grim picture of the escalating violence in Nigeria. The human rights watchdog condemns rebel group Boko Haram for brutal terrorist attacks, which have killed as many as 600 this year. Boko Haram, which in English means Western education is forbidden, is a radical Islamic group dedicated to establishing a Muslim regime in Nigeria. The Amnesty report was also critical of Nigerian and government security forces, claiming they have routinely carried out executions, arrests without trial, and mass detentions of the naming of suppressing terror.
The American election is next Tuesday, and both Barack Obama and Mitt Romney are officially back on the campaign trail today. Obama was in New Jersey touring damage from Hurricane Sandy yesterday and is scheduled to make stops in Nevada, Colorado, and Wisconsin today. Vice President Biden was in Florida, slamming Romney's advertisements that say Jeep manufacturing will be moving to China.
Is it true? Is it true? Is Jeep really going to leave? Is the announcement they made not true? Are they going to shut down our plant? What a cynical thing to do.
We're going to take
Romney
back
was
America.
also in Florida yesterday, asking the
strong.
swing state for their vote and saying they'd take back America. Romney is set to campaign in Virginia today.
The Russian government now has the ability to blacklist websites and remove them. The law is officially in effect after passing through Parliament and being signed by President Vladimir Putin in July. Authorities say it will protect children from accessing harmful online content. Critics say the government's ability to monitor sites could increase censorship. Human rights group warned it is another effect by Putin to control freedom of speech.
Also online, Mega Upload's creator announced a replacement for the defunct file-sharing website. Kim.com, who legally changed his name, says his new site Mega is set for a January launch. This is exactly a year after his New Zealand arrest on American charges relating to copyright theft and allegations he profited up to $175 million in online piracy. He faces an extradition hearing in March and could face up to 20 years in prison if convicted. .com says Mega won't be hosted on American servers and can't be threatened by U.S. prosecutors. He says the site is already getting millions of hits.
Prosecutors in Pennsylvania are preparing to charge former Penn State President Graham Spanier today. According to NBC News, Spanier is expected to face perjury and obstruction charges regarding the Jerry Sandusky child sex abuse scandal. The charges are based on an FBI report that included emails between Spanier and other athletic officials agreeing not to report Sandusky. Those accused have denounced the allegations, saying the emails were taken out of context. There will be a news conference in the state capitol today to announce what is being described as a major development to the case.
And now with your sports news, here's Katie Fraser.
The Humber Hawks men's and women's volleyball teams are kicking off their regular season tonight against the Conestoga Condors. The Condors are headed here to the North Campus tonight to take on Humber's reigning champs. The women's team is looking to make this year 6 in a row for the OCAA championship title. The pressure is on for the women this year as they've lost 4 starters from last season, but have several new rookies who look promising. Assistant coach Dean Wiley says the change will be felt, but is confident with last year's players.
That's big. I mean, anytime you lose 5-year players, 4-year players, it puts a hole in your front line, your offense. But I think the people who've stepped in from last year, it's all returning players.
And the men are defending their 2012 CCAA National and OCAA championship titles, having a 20-1 regular season last year. The CCAA has the men's team at the top of the national rankings again this year. Let's see if they can hold the title. And in NBA news, another loss for the LA Lakers last night, 106-116 against the Portland Trail Blazers. Steve Nash limped off the court at the end of the first half after colliding with Damian Lillard, and Nash may have a knee injury. The Toronto Raptors couldn't get a break last night with a 90-88 loss to the Indiana Pacers. Just before the action started, the Raptors signed DeMar DeRozan to a 4-year, $40 million contract. The 23-year-old from Compton, California, played 63 games last season, averaging 16.7 points, 2 assists, and 3.3 rebounds per game. And in the CFL, big game tonight for the Hamilton Tiger Cats as they take on the Toronto Argonauts in the regular season finale game at the Rogers Centre. The Ticats need to win this one, and they need Edmonton to lose Friday if they want a chance to place 3rd in the East Division. But if they lose to the Argos, or if the Eskimos win, the Ticats will be eliminated from playoff contention. In the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs take on the San Diego Chargers tonight in San Diego. And in the MLB, the Toronto Blue Jays exercised a $3 million U.S. option on Darren Oliver's contract. Oliver posted a 3-4 record this year with 2 saves and 2.06 ERA in 62 games. The Jays also signed Rajai Davis to a 1-year, $2.5 million contract. Davis hit .257 this year with 8 home runs, 43 RBIs, and ranked 2nd in the major leagues with 46 stolen bases. That's all for your sports news today. Now back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Katie. After the break, we'll get the latest in entertainment from Jeanette Liu.